25 billion naira each year, as published by World Bank in 2022. These funds are used to build schools, homes, and infrastructure all over Nigeria and also in their home communities. For the Igbos, mobility is synonymous to strategic distribution of resources, not brain drain, as many may think. Now, local roots power national progress. Let's talk about town unions. Have you not observed that in any city, in any town where Igbos gather, the people that come from a particular town do gather to form a group? They normally call it town unions. They gather just to, kind of create welfare, to look after themselves. These town unions create circular economies that link rural and urban areas. Shall we talk about local success stories that feed into national growth? Here I mean the Igbo market women, the Igbo artisans, and Igbo tech entrepreneurs. Empowering local communities unlocks a bottom-up model of development. And Igbo diversity demonstrates that local strength is national resilience. Now, I want us to look at challenges in harnessing Igbo diversity for development. There are several of them. I just listed few here, which include: 1, infrastructural deficit. You see poor road networks and power supply in the southeast. They hinder productivity. You see environmental degradation, gully erosion. While we were coming to Aba from Onitsha axis yesterday, we met one, gully erosion. Speak Igbo. Maybe we permit those in diaspora. How about those of us in Nigeria, even in Igbo land, whose children cannot speak Igbo? Some of us, we have our children in Igbo land, bringing them up in Igbo land, yet they cannot speak Igbo. That is cultural erosion. And I want to use this opportunity to plead to parents, to grandparents, especially the young parents, to please make sure that your children speak Igbo. Not only speak Igbo, let them know how to write and read it. Otherwise, we should hold ourselves responsible, and we should know that we are all contributing to these challenges called cultural erosion. The final one is political marginalization. Of course, we know we are marginalized. Underrepresentation and regional agitations underscore governance imbalance. Now, before I move further, I want us to know that harnessing Igbo geospatial diversity means: 1, recognizing Igbo people as the true spatial assets of the nation, linking local innovation to national prosperity, and building a Nigeria that understands and harnesses its spatial strengths. Now, the main thing, the contributions of Igbo diversity to national development. I'm going to list them, and then we take them one by one. 1, economic and entrepreneurship, agriculture, their contribution in education and professions, in politics and leadership, culture and art, and resilience and reconstruction. Let's have a look at their contribution to economy and entrepreneurship. The Igbos established Onitsha main market and Ariara market here in Aba, and they are major West African trade hubs. Of course, they established Inewi Auto Parts industry that is known as Japan of Africa, Aba Textiles, leather works, which drive local manufacturing. Igbo apprenticeship system, commonly known as Igbo Boy, had trained and empowered millions of entrepreneurs. Many of them are doing well for themselves and contributing heavily to the development of Nigeria. Let us move to Lagos. Igbos are championing trade there, and of course they dominated real estate business. Shall we go to Kanu? They are in charge. They're also in charge of pharmaceutical markets and businesses there. If you go to Abuja and Port Harcourt, Igbos are active in construction and oil services. Oil services. If we look up here, we will see the vibrant spaces of trade and innovation. The Igbo market, Onitsha main market, Ariara market here in Aba, Enugu City, Ekoka in Anambra, Owerri City, and then Aba City space. Agriculture. How have Igbo contributed to agriculture? Historically, yam, cassava, vegetables, and cashew, which are vital for Nigerians' food security. Of course, they sustain rural economy in southeast Nigeria. What are their contributions to education and professions? Early adoption of Western education gave rise to high numbers of professionals, Igbo professionals in medicine, law, engineering, in academia, including our profession, surveying. We have numerous Igbo doctors, engineers, lawyers, professors nationwide and in diaspora who are doing very well for themselves. Diaspora contributes through remittances and knowledge transfer. In politics and leadership, of course, Nnamdi Azikiwe, an Igbo man, is Nigeria's first president who championed independence. Igbo leaders are active in federalism and restructuring debates. They play critical roles in shaping Nigerian democracy. How about culture and arts? Chinua Achebe's work globalized Nigerian and African identity. How about Chimamanda? She is a global figure. How about our festivals? The New Yam Festival, Iriji, which promotes cultural unity and tourism. In fact, if you go abroad, the way the Igbos celebrate Iriji there is so commendable. In fact, they do it better than those of us here. When it comes to arts, they masquerade Maung. We have Maung, music and crafts, which enrich national cultural heritage. If you look up here, that is one Iriji festival in Anambra. That's big masquerade called Ijele. That is our culture. In resilience and reconstruction, the rapid post-Civil War between 1967 to 1970, rebuilding and recovery shows Igbo resilience and innovation. Igbo resilience is the national inspiration. Community-driven projects like the one done by all these town unions helps funding in building roads, schools, and hospitals, like I mentioned before. Now, let us look at the policy implications and then provide some recommendations. The Igbo experience offers lessons for national integration and economic transformation. Policies must recognize that diversity, when mapped and understood spatially, becomes a development asset. The goal is to translate geospatial insights into actionable policies, and I will take you there. The policy direction number 1 to take is to invest in Igbo economic hubs. The focus shall be Aba, Onitsha, and other thriving trade centers. The rationale behind this policy is that infrastructure deficits limits productivity despite high commercial potential. Three key actions to take. One is to upgrade road and provide rail networks to enhance trade connectivity. Two, to ensure reliable electricity supply to sustain small, medium enterprises.